1917 to boredom, or as I like to call it, we tried to do a thing. The movie. Directed by the one and only Clint Eastwood, and it is about the real-life terrorist attack that almost took place on a train, and about the real-life heroes, the regular guys on that train who were able to stop this attack. They were very brave, they were very courageous. Clint Eastwood has, tried to do a thing here. He actually cast the real-life heroes in this movie basically playing themselves. These three friends who embark on this journey, and they're on a train, and then the terrorist thing happens, and then they stop. Well, that's kind of a bold thing, and I like the fact that they gave that opportunity to them. And again, this whole movie revolves around a terrorist attack, and so that's basically the premise of the movie. Okay, something positive. Come on, you can do this, something good. There is something good in this movie. I know it. They're just, let's see. Positive thoughts, okay? Positive. We can do this. It's not that long. I mean, it's only like an hour and a half.
Oh, where do I even begin with this shit?
Like I said before, Clint Eastwood directed this movie, and I'm a big fan of Clint Eastwood. I think his movies have kind of been like this the last few years, up and then down and then up and then down. He's had some really good movies, he's had some shit movies, but overall I respect his talent and his skill as a director. Which is why it really pains me to say that this might be the absolute worst Clint Eastwood movie that I have ever had to sit through. And I understand that Clint Eastwood was trying to do a good thing. He was trying to give some opportunity to people who haven't really had that opportunity. These are first-time actors in this movie, and I get that, and I actually like that idea, and I also respect the hell out of the real-life heroes who actually were involved in this terrorist thing. I respect the hell out of them. They're brave and courageous people. They do not deserve to be dragged through the mud for this movie, but guess what? It's a movie, so I'm going to drag them through the goddamn mud. And I feel like that's okay, because they threw mud or shit at my eyes for the entire time, so I feel like dragging somebody through it. Let's just get the acting out of the way, because that's the easiest thing to criticize. It's awful, it's pretty bad, it's shitty, it's terrible, it's garbage, it's booty juice, it's whatever descriptive word you want to use to describe how bad and how awful it is, that's what it is. The acting in this movie is just, woo! It's easy for me to sit here and say this recording a video in my apartment talking about a shitty movie, but trust me, I gain no pleasure in saying that the acting was terrible. But here's the thing, I think that Clint Eastwood is part of the problem. I can't really blame the actors involved in this one, the real-life heroes. I feel like blaming Clint Eastwood. I don't feel like Clint Eastwood had the right director-actor relationship in this one. At least that's what it felt like watching the movie. I feel like he didn't push them to be the kind of actors that they needed to be in this one. So when you combine the acting from them and then the acting from other well-known actors in the movie are pretty terrible too, you kind of wonder what the hell was good. Was Clint Eastwood just on acid directing this shit? Did he not give a shit? Did he not give a fuck? I don't know. I don't have the answer to that. I wasn't on set. I'm just going by what I saw while I was watching the movie. Well, the movie itself is really boring. I mean, oh my god, about 30 to 40 minutes into this thing, I was halfway convinced that the movie was trying to drug me, or that somebody had drugged me in my drink, because I just started getting drowsy as fuck. I almost dozed off at least 3 or 4 times during this thing, and that should never happen in a movie directed by Clint Eastwood. It's like they knew that the story for this movie and the script was so paper thin and that they couldn't really stretch it out to a major wide release, and they couldn't fill up the runtime, so instead they tried to fill the movie with a whole bunch of boring bullshit that doesn't really add to anything, and is only really there to make this movie at least 90 minutes so that they could push it out to the theater. There's an entire subplot in this movie that revolves around ice cream. Ice cream. I mean, you get to see these guys grow up, you get to see their lives, you get to see how they became friends, you get to see them in college, you get to see them taking these trips around Europe, and that's really all this movie is for about 90% of it. It's just a whole bunch of trips, and a whole bunch of meandering, and a whole bunch of just, it's NyQuil. That's what it is. It's NyQuil. It's gonna put you to sleep. It was one of those rare times in movies where there were multiple people around me that had fallen asleep, and there was one guy in particular who was snoring. I mean, he was like Godzilla belly roar snoring. Like, it was loud. It filled up the whole theater. And you know what? I couldn't blame the dude. I felt like snoring. Well, not that I snore. I'm saying I would. I do snore. It's like this movie is just filled with pointless filler, and then we finally get to the finale, and then things kind of get interesting, but at that point, the movie is over. And I'm not going to let that excuse the film for making me sit through an hour and 20 minutes of bullshit. The narrative is paper thin and meandering. Most of the story feels like it's stuck in quicksand or stuck in neutral for 90% of it. The acting is shit. Again, not entirely their fault, but some of it has to be. 1517 to boredom is exactly what you thought it was, and I am going to give it my worst rating, A Quest for Peace. Goddamn shame, I didn't want to give this movie that rating. I wanted to look for something positive in it, but there's really nothing here. Everything all around about it is just, it's bad. Oh, that is your shitty movie review for the last few weeks. No, I am not going to watch 50 Shades of fucking bullshit, because I am a good person and I deserve good things in life, and so no, that's not happening. Guys, let me know what your favorite Clint Eastwood movie is. Put that down in the comment section below. Like and subscribe to the Superfan Show, and as always, if you like what you see, tell me how you feel, and stay tuned to hear more from the Man of Steel. Peace!